A great mass of black rock soaring to over 22,000 feet, Mount Kailash has the unique distinction of being the world's most acclaimed holy place. The supremely sacred site of four religions and billions of people, Kailash is seen by no more than a few thousand pilgrims each year. This curious fact is explained by the mountain's remote location in far western Tibet. With no planes, trains, or buses anywhere near the region, the journey requires weeks of difficult and dangerous travel. The Jains call the mountain Ashtapada and believe it to be the place where Rishabha, the first of the 24 Tirthankars, attained liberation. Followers of Bon, Tibet's pre-Buddhist, shamanistic religion, call the mountain Thais and believe it to be the seat of sky goddess Sipaman. Tibetan Buddhists call the mountain Kang Rinpoche, the precious one of the glacial snow, and regard it as the dwelling place of Demchong and his consort Dorje Phagmo. One of the ideas the Russians have put forward is that Mount Kailash could be a vast, human-built pyramid, the center of the entire complex of the smaller pyramids, 100 in total. This complex, moreover, might be the center of the worldwide system connecting other monuments or sites where paranormal phenomena have been observed. The idea of the pyramid in this region is not new. It goes back to the times of Ramayana. Mount Kailash is regarded as the earthly manifestation of Hindus' mythic Mount Meru or Sumeru, the spiritual center of the universe, the Axis Mundi in Buddhism, Jainism, as well as Hindu cosmology. The Axis Mundi is literally the axis of the world, although there are several different ways of viewing a religion's Axis Mundi. The axis provides a connection between the physical world and the spiritual world. Both geography and mythology play roles in the sacred significance of Mount Kailash. This holy mountain rises to an altitude of 6,714 meters. It cannot compete with peaks in the nearby Himalayan range, which includes Mount Everest, and its grandeur lies not in the highest but in its distinct shape. Four sheer faces making the cardinal points of the compass, and its solitary location free of neighboring mountains that might dwarf or obscure it. The area around this great mountain is the source of four life-giving rivers, the Indus, Brahmaputra, Sarlaj and Karnali, which is the major tributary of India's sacred Ganges. To further enhance the symbolic mysticism of the mountain as a sacred place, two lakes are situated at the base of the mountain, Mansarovar Lake and Rakshastal. The higher lake, Mansarovar, one of the highest freshwater lakes in the world, is the sacred lake and is round like the sun. The lower lake, Rakshastal, one of the highest saltwater lakes, is the devil's lake and has the shape of the crescent moon. The two lakes represent solar and lunar forces, which is good and negative energies respectively. The two lakes, Mansarovar and Rakshastal, are located next to each other and divided by a thin isthmus of mountains. However, Lake Mansarovar remains calm irrespective of the weather conditions, whereas Rakshastal stays constantly stormy. Another mystery of Mount Kailash is the rapid aging of those who are near it. The growth of nail and hair that occurs in 12 hours spent near Kailash is equal to 2 weeks in normal conditions. To Tibetan Buddhists, Kailash is the adobe of the tantric meditational deity Demchog. Hindus see Kailash as the throne of great god Shiva, one of their most significant deities. Jains revere Kailash as the site at which their first prophet received enlightenment. Buddhists, Hindu and Jain pilgrims from the world over go to this holy mountain to circumambulate. Climbing Mount Kailash is forbidden. The only person to have ever been atop the sacred mountain is Milarepa, 11th century Tibetan Buddhist yogi. Long before Buddhism took root in the Tibet, in the 7th century, Kailash was venerated by the adherents of the Bon, the indigenous religion of the region, who maintained that the mystic region around Mount Kailash and the 9-story Swastika mountain was the seat of all power. When viewed from the south face, a swastika can indeed be seen. The sacred circumambulation of Kailash is down anti-clockwise, whereas followers of the other region walk in the clockwise direction. According to Bon accounts, while the circumambulation is made, 18 powerful and enlightened teachers will appear in the eon, including Tonpa Shenrab, the most powerful of them and the founder of Bon religion. He is said to have been born in mythical land of Olmalangring, whose location remains something of a mystery. The land is traditionally described as dominated by the Mount Yangdrungudzen edifice of 9 swastikas, which many identify as Mount Kailash. In the 1890s, E.V. Lytton, a Rosicrucian, wrote a best-selling novel around the idea of cosmic energy, which he called Vril. Later, he wrote of a Vril society consisting of a race of super beings. The Vril society claimed to have links to Tibetan masters, apparently drawing on the ideas of Madame Blavatsky, the theosophist, who supported. Many of these people were ready to believe in the existence of supernatural in whatever form, higher intelligence, power or energy. This interest remains strong to this day in many countries. To find this Axis Mundi, the most powerful place, the highest power or the hidden intelligence in whatever from it exists. Mount Kailash is one of the most mysterious, secret and at the same time one of the most holy and sacred mountains, the circumambulation of which has for many centuries or possibly many millennia remained a vital pilgrimage, symbolizing the life stage of death, purification and rebirth. Buddhists and Jains refer to the circumambulation as Kora, Hindus as Parikrama. A single circumambulation equals one turn of the wheel of life and will wipe away the sins of one's life. 12 circumambulations will purify one's karma for all past and future lives. Enlightenment is attained after 108. Even one Kora presents an extreme difficult task since the mountain is difficult of access and dangers are not. Some of us may dream of discovering of ourselves what there is to be seen on this mountain. There is another belief that deepens the mystery of Mount Kailash. It is believed that it is actually the Sahasra Chakra in our body, which is center of supreme consciousness or Shiva. When Kundalini reaches there, she meets Shiva. The physical counterpart is Mount Kailash, where the energy of Shiva is centered in material earth. According to Hindu mythology, Shiva resides at the summit of the Kailasha. It is regarded in Hinduism as paradise, the ultimate destination of souls and the spiritual center of the earth. According to a description in Puranas, Mount Kailash, 4 faces are made up of crystal, ruby, gold and lapis lazuli. It is the pillar of the world, rises 84,000 leagues high, is the center of the world mandala and is located at the heart of 6 mountain ranges symbolizing a lotus. From it flow from rivers which stretch to the 4 quarters of the world and divide the world into 4 regions. Gauri Kund, a water body that is known as the Lake of Compassion, lies on the way while going to downwards from Dolma Pass. This steep descent from Dolma Pass is Wonderful Lake, which is at an altitude of 5,608 meters. The lake is also famous as Parvati Sarovar, as this was the place where Goddess Parvati had acquired her son Ganesha, elephant-headed god. Goddess Parvati had formed Ganesha from the soap lather on her body and breathed life into him. Yamadwar is situated in Tarboche, which is approximately 30 minutes drive from Darchan. The exact meaning of Yamadwar in Hindi is the gateway of the god of death. It is the initial point of circumambulation of Mount Kailash. It is also known as Choten Kangni, which means two-legged stupa in Tibet. Located at a height of 17,000 feet, Astapad is the bottom of Mount Kailash and one of the main holy places for Hindus and Buddhists. It is also considered a major Jain Tirth as the first of the 24 Jain Tirthankara. Sri Adinath Bhagavan had attained salvation or nirvana at this place. The literal meaning of Astapad is 8 steps, as Asta means 8 and Pad means steps in Sanskrit, and that's how the place is derived from its name. It is known as duplication of magical funeral ground at Bodh Gaya. Pilgrims here experience ritual death and enter into the dreadful presence of Yama before being reborn on the top of Drolmala. One can easily notice the ground, which is laid out of unbelievable collection of clothing, shoes and bags, along with terrible things like bones, hair and even blood. These things are mainly the offerings which are made by the people who passes from there.